nightmares in my head. I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety filling up every space, no privacy. And silently, it could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn, no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders, like moving boulders just to get out of the home. It sucks, I've had enough, I don't wanna feel this.
Welcome to Amberg Acres. So Pablo's back for the weekend. We're trying to get these end panels up. He showed up yesterday, so we worked on it about 4 hours, and we got as far as the door. And now we're at a panel, we're at the longest panel, and the issue we're having is we have to tuck it in that door, and we have to put this up there, way up there at the peak, and try and tuck it in around this thing. And I ain't quite sure how we're gonna do that, so we're kind of at a stalemate right now. So we left it sit overnight. Now this morning we're gonna get back at it. We should have Jacob here also, my son-in-law, should be showing up in a little while to help, so that'll give us 3 people. Because the issue we were having is I had to come down every time and to go cut the panels, and then I had to climb back up there. So I'm thinking with a 3rd guy, we could leave somebody up there and he could just sit up there while me and Pablo or whatever are cutting the panels, you know. It seems very hard to me to cut the panel ahead of time because we found out on the first panel we cut it, it wasn't quite right. So we had to bring it back down and cut it. Now we made a jig. Let me go take you in there and show you the jig. We made a jig and we had to modify the jig a little bit in order to make the panel correct. So let me take you in there and show you that jig. So this here is the jig I made. So we lay the panel on here. This board up here is at an angle, the same angle as the roof, or so I thought. And when we cut the first panel, it was off a little bit. So we adjusted it by putting these 2x4s here along here to make it to the right angle, and it wasn't off by much. You know, I'm talking, it was tight on one end and we had a 1/4 inch gap on the other end. You know, no big deal, right? But when you're trying to cut all these panels and get them to line up there, it kind of is a big deal, you know? So we adjusted this a little bit. So these 2x4s here at a slight angle from where I originally had them, you know? So that now every piece has gone up there and it's been almost perfect going in the top up there. So it's working pretty good. So now the next piece is the peak. And then when we get done with the peak, we have to start going the opposite way. So I'm thinking we're just gonna flip the piece upside down and use the same jig, and it should give us the same angle and we should be correct. It all depends where you measure it. So that's gonna be our next issue once we get to that next piece on the other side of the peak. So that's what we made up. It's working pretty good right now. So once we got that first piece cut, which took us a while, and then we had to move the scaffolding after we had 3 pieces up, and that took a while because nothing's level out there. So it's working pretty good. So we're gonna get going on it here this morning. We're gonna try and figure out our first problem here, and then hopefully once we get over above the garage door, those are short pieces, that should go pretty quick over there. I think we're wrong, Pablo.
What?
I think I didn't write it down.
You never done it? No?
I got 221 and 3/8 written down, and that's way short.
Okay.
All right. Okay, I'll climb up there. All right, so if somebody wrote down a number on the last panel, you can use that number over on this side, and that would be your number for this angle to start for your next cut. But I did not write it down, so we had to go out and remeasure it. So we're at 245 and 3/8 to the peak. Now that I have that line marked, I just slide this piece down, make sure I'm up against my boards here. Right there. And I got a couple of screws here. So the screws hold the panel. I can't move that panel. And I'm using a circle saw with a Diablo metal cutting blade. We cut, what did we cut there, Pablo? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sheets already?
Yeah.
So this is my 6th sheet, and it's worn down pretty good. But so 6 sheets, I don't know, probably need about 4 wheels to do this end of the building. Yeah, it's already not cutting through. I'm gonna change this blade. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but that's 5 sheets. That's how much that wheel wore down already. 5 sheets and 1 door opening, right? So your other option for cutting this stuff is a plywood blade on backwards on your saw. But it is noisy as that, it's deafening. All right, so now we gotta cut a door opening and a vent opening on this panel yet. So we have our cut made out, and this is my little template that I made in my last video. And we just lay that on there like that, and then we make a line for where the door is, and that gives us our door opening. And we had to obviously measure this one, which is 82 inches. So that's how we're cutting them. The first one went in pretty good. We'll see about this one because we have the opening up there. We have this opening for the vent here, and I don't know how that's gonna be trying to get that cocked in there on the bottom and the top at the same time. So we might be struggling with this one. But I'll take the camera up there with me and we'll see what it looks like as we put this one up.
Stuck under the rug, all my problems that I shove. I got nightmares in my head, I fear the thoughts build up until I can't hear, and my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear the thoughts build up until I can't hear, creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it can be a little tough. I just need to feel like the answer's out for me. That's been really real anxiety can foggy all this stuff. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it can be a little tough. I just need to feel like the answer's out for me.
Get up on the second level.
That's me really real anxiety can foggy all this stuff. It sucks when you finally feel like giving up. Oh God, no love. Everything feels like you're sneaky stuck. Handcuffed to the bed where I sleep, don't give a fuck. Can't stop, unplugged, feeling overwhelmed. I think I've had enough. Gotta find a way to get some energy. Gotta find someone who's a good friend of me. I need purpose to make it all worth it. I'm still searching and I'm still learning. I want a life that's filled with memories, not a life that I carry in front of me. I need focus to keep me from hopeless.
Alright, hang on, let me go up another level. Okay. Got it, Jacob? Yep.
Thoughts build up until I can't hear. That my mind fills up into a creature.
Should have been here this morning.
Haunts me somewhere much deeper.
Okay, the bottom's got to go way over that way, Pablo.
What, to the south?
Yes, to the south.
My mind fills up into a creature.
There you go. All right, how much farther? There you go. You're good there. Okay. Hang on a second.
Little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me. But let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me. But let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff.
Holy crap. We're hooking on the door up here. Okay. Hang on a second. Oh, shit.
What?
Alright. Alright. You gotta get that, Jacob, above you.
Huh?
Above you.
Yeah,
Look up.
I'm going up
Right here.
level. Yep.
You gotta get that to go in that door, on top of that garage door. Hang on. All right, hang on. All right, let's do it this way. Okay. Are you in there, Jacob?
I'm above. We just got to get our the right piece into the garage channel. I'm all in down here.
You can't be. Can you?
Yep. We're in.
No, we're way off. We're off an inch up here.
What? An inch how? Too long?
I'm way an inch high of the vent.
I'm on the,
You're sitting on that thing?
I'm sitting on the thing.
I'm sitting on top of the garage.
Oh, shit.
How much you got to take off?
Probably about a quarter to half.
At least a quarter and a half, yeah.
Okay.
So best case scenario would be to take a half an inch off the bottom, down by you down there, Pablo.
And then a little at the top of the door.
And a little off the top of the door. That would be the two easiest cuts to make.
Okay.
So we're going to take the panel back down to do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Okay, that's probably good.
All right. You want to drop down a level? 2 levels?
No, let go, Jacob. It's got to go past this here yet.
You want me to go to a level down?
Yeah. You got it?
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I got it. Good. Okay, just hold it right there. We'll get up on the next level.
Okay.
Okay, that's it for going up. Bring the bottom in.
I'm just holding it.
Nope, you gotta get in.
Okay.
All right, we're in. There's a lot of flex on this rib, though.
What's that?
I just feel like there's a lot of. Are we on the line over here?
No, we're way off. We gotta go.
What, north?
We gotta come this way. So, are we hitting something in that corner?
Yeah,
Your little tabs there?
Let me see if that's.
Pull them out.
All right, let's try it again. That feels better, right?
What does yours look like down there, Pablo?
I'm right on. I'm good on everything.
That's better now. Mine.
Is it?
Yeah.
On the overlap, I'm good.
Okay, yeah, that looks good up here. Now I just gotta get this tucked in.
All right.
That's good there. If I can get somebody to come up now and push on it so I can get a screw in, I guess. I'll hold it where I got it. Okay. So this is the problem we're having up here. We can't get this to tuck in into these pieces and get it to tuck into the garage door and get it to tuck into the bottom of the garage door all at the same time. So we left these pieces off and now we're trying to tuck them in here underneath here so that we still have a trim piece here that makes it look halfway decent from the ground level. So this one here is the J channel, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and slip it behind here as far as I can. And get it behind the other piece. Something like that. But I don't have my slots that I need. So I gotta take the tin snips, which I don't have up here, do I? It ain't working. Not too bad. Now, how do I get this edge in?
Should we do two pieces and just
Slide them in?
overlap them in the middle, right in the middle? Like, could you do that piece? I'd have to make you a longer piece, and then
Well, let me cut this.
and do two pieces, so you could
So
slide.
make it 9.5. Go right about there. Yeah, I'm trying to think which would be, because I gotta slide this one behind and then come up this way. So if I make this one, if I put this one here, right here, so now, if I slide this one in like that,
I can't even see that seam from here.
you know, hand me that orange hammer. throw a long screw through there.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Right? Hold that tight.
Does that look all good?
Yeah, I think it does.
Okay.
Good enough for me. I don't have to come up and caulk it, but
Yeah.
you know. So put some brown caulk here and some.
Right.
All right. So now what about the bottom one? I need another piece. You want to go cut me one that's like 21 inches? All right, so this didn't go well at all. We had to cut this into 2 pieces here. It's the only way we could get it in there. It's an impossible fit as far as I'm concerned. I don't see how anybody would be able to do this. I just don't. It's a very bad design for this vent. So if you're thinking about building a pole barn, do not order the vent. It's a waste of time. I'm actually thinking about skipping it on the other side because this is taking way too long. And just having it on this side where everybody sees it from the road. It's basically an aesthetic. This is all vented up here. So this is basically an aesthetic to help get more air through. That's all it's for. All right, guys, I have to apologize for some of the bad video. It's really hard to work up on a scaffolding and use a GoPro, and it just wasn't working well up there. We had a lot of problems with that vent up here. I don't know what else to say. It's to me it seems like that should have been 2 pieces, a top piece and a bottom piece, because you're trying to do a cut around a door and a cut around a box up there, and it just wasn't working. We just were off, you know, a 1/4 inch, and it won't go together, you know. So then we had to take the panel back down and put the panel back up, and it just wasn't working. So I apologize for the video not being that good. We'll try and do better on the other side, but it's done. There's a little bit of blood up there. I got a whole bunch of blood smeared all over the wall up there. But other than that, it turned out okay. You know, not real happy with the vent up there, but other than that, the rest of it, all the panels are straight and look really good. So, so I'm happy that way. But we'll try and do better on the other side. Okay. Well, I guess that's going to be a wrap for today. We got 1 piece up on the other side. We'll continue tomorrow, I guess. Pablo, why don't you go get me a beer?
Okay.
So, oh, Pablo, that was quick. So anyhow, Pablo, what the heck is going on here? Okay, I guess we're having a beer. All right, so we left the vent out on this side and things went way better. And I want to thank Pablo 1 and Pablo 2.
No, Jacob.
I don't know where they went to.
Jacob.
Oh, Jacob, and Pablo for helping out. So this took us, just to do these end walls, this took us basically 2.5 days.
What about the vent?
Yeah. Yeah, it was too hard. It was too hard to put that vent back in. It was terrible. All right, we'll get back to you. Well, guys, it's another day. Pablo and Jacob have gone home. We did a pretty good job. There were some things I wasn't happy with, the way some of the panels were going up and stuff. And I apologize for some of the swearing that might have been in the video and whatever. Like I always say, it is what it is. This was not easy. This was not easy at all to put these panels up. The roof was even easier, putting the roof up, that we did last year. So let's take you around and show you some of the problems that we had, all right? So one of the problems we had were these cuts here to try and get that tucked in to this here piece, to tuck it in, and then to get it to go over the top of the door. We really struggled with those joints right there. So this one here does not look that bad. A little bit of caulking, it'll be fine. But then you come over on this side and we completely screwed up the cut there. We got a extra line here that I got to try and get off. And these are all my mistakes. These are just my mistakes that I marked the piece from the wrong side. So then we had to go back and you know, cut it on the right side, and I obviously overshot my mark here. That's why that is so wide open there. So those are some issues that I had, you know, cutting these panels and getting this stuff all put up. Here you can see the one on the bottom of the window here looks really nice. We did a good job there. But then you get up to the top of the window and I screwed that one up again, you know. And it's tough. This was very tough, putting these big panels up like this. If I were gonna do it again, and I had the option, and I don't know if that is an option, I would have made these two pieces where that seam is below the garage door right there, where that line of screws are right there. I would have made that two pieces, a top piece and a bottom piece. So you could put the bottom pieces up real easy by just tucking them in. And then the top pieces you would have just slid up into the channel up there on top. Instead of trying to have to sit there and bend that panel one way or the other to get it to lock into the door. You know, to get it to lock in on top of the door and get it to lock in up there. It didn't make sense to me when we were doing this. And the panels do not have anything extra on them. About this much, you know, was extra on the panels on what we were cutting off. So I couldn't have done it myself. You know, you would have had to order it that way with two different panels. So that would be one thing that I would change if I would do this again. Okay. So the overhang was no problem. That all went good, except we had to rent a lift because that was very hard to get to. And I didn't have the scaffold. If I would have had that scaffolding back then, we could have probably done it with the scaffolding. But we rented a lift when we did that overhang last year. So as far as the side panels go, this all went real easy. Not hard at all. Once we got a little bit of a system going on how we were putting them up there, this was not hard at all. This vent up here, I wouldn't waste my time on it. That was very difficult, very problematic, trying to get that up there and get the panels cut. And again, if that were two pieces, that might have been easier. If that was a shorter piece, that might have been easier to do. But with that being a long panel, whatever that was, well, the top of the door is 12, so you're at 20 some feet there for a panel, you know. So as long as that panel that was almost impossible to get those in there and get them cut and get them in there. So I would never do this again the way I did it. okay? So lesson learned, but I only built one other pole barn, and it was an 8-footer, so it wasn't an issue, you know? I mean, the little doors here actually went in pretty well, not bad. It was when you had the double cut, so you had a cut on this side of the door, and then you had a cut on the other side of the panel for that vent up there, and you had to try and get the panel to go in like this here. It was physically impossible almost to get it to tuck in. So we left the trim off. We took the trim back off the vent and tried tucking the tin in after we had the panel up. And it was okay on the sides, but the top and the bottom was kind of difficult, so we split it into 2 pieces and tucked it in. And from down here, you can't see it. It looks fine, but there could be a leak spot up there, so I got to get up there on a ladder and try and caulk some areas to make sure there isn't a leak up there. So as we were working on the building here yesterday, my daughter showed up. Some questions were asked, you know, so one of the main questions was, would you ever build another one? And my answer was no, I would not take on this project again. I wanted to do it. I wanted to try it, you know, just because I had the time to do it. It's not that I can't do it. It's that physically, at my age, being 64 years old, it is getting to the point where the climbing the ladders and all that stuff is getting hard. So the only way I would even attempt to do it again is if I went out and bought a lift or rented a lift, and that gets very expensive to rent this equipment. And you would have to have it here. Well, the two end panels took us 2.5 days. The side panels took us 2 days. So you would have to have it here for a week. And physically, after 2 days of hanging these end panels, I was beat. I slept till 8 o'clock this morning. I don't sleep till 8 o'clock. I'm usually up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I slept till 8 o'clock. I was so darn tired after yesterday. You know, so my answer would be no, I probably wouldn't do this again. And then the second question was, would you do it for somebody else? And my answer is no, not unless I charge a lot of money to go get the equipment and do that type of stuff. And it wouldn't be fair to them. That would cost them too much to have me build it. You know, you might as well just go get the pros to do it then. So those were the questions that came up. And if you're looking into tackling a project like this, the whole project took me almost a year, okay? So if you go back and watch my other videos, we started tearing down the farmhouse, right? That was around July of last year. Started tearing down the farmhouse. Then we got all these big trees cut down that were in our way, right? The big white pines, we got them cut down. All right, then when we came back from our trip in September, we started building the barn. And I did most of the poles, the girts, all by myself with the help of my wife. She drove the tractor and lifted me up in a basket, and we did all that. And all the purlins I did by walking on them planks up there in the rafters. And none of that was that bad, okay? The woodwork part of it, it wasn't until we actually got to putting up the tin where it got difficult, and it got to be a physical strain, lifting those panels and sliding them up there and getting them in place, and then trying to crawl on there and you know, get the screws in straight and all of that stuff. So we waited. So we got the roof on last October. So then we let it sit for the winter with the walls open. And this spring I started again with putting a wrap up. We got the concrete poured, and now we got the sidewalls on. So it took almost a year. It's June, I don't know, 2nd today? I think it's June 2nd today. So it took almost a year to do this project complete. And it's still not complete. I still got the garage doors to put on. So by the time I get them on, it'll be a year. I got two of the corner trim panel pieces to put on the other side there. It started raining yesterday, and all I wanted my goal was to get the rest of these tall panels up, these side panels. So we got that done, and then we said, screw it, let's just go home, you know, let's quit for the day. So I still got to do them corner trim, but that corner trim isn't that hard to do. My wife can help me with that, hold the piece in place while I mark it and snip it up on top. But other than that, you know, I mean, the project went well. There weren't a whole lot of issues until these last two end panels, these two ends, the gable sides here. That's where the problems all started. That was hard work. So, you know, take that into consideration if you're going to do a project like this, that it is somewhat physically challenging. These guys that do it every day, they're used to it. My next thing is I got to get the doors on, and I got to get landscaping done here. This is all just sand and mud here, so we're going to have to get going on that. Probably bring in some stone. I'm not sure. The lean-to, at this point, the lean-to is on hold because I still got a telephone pole over there. Let me show you that. So right here behind the ladder is the telephone pole that carries the juice from the street all the way up to the garage up there, the other garage. And we're in the process. WPS has come out and they buried the line to the pole from my new panel here on the side of the barn, but they have not done the hookup yet. It's just hanging there on the pole. So I don't know when that's coming. They haven't been in contact with me. Everything's been inspected, and as far as I know, that was all okay. There was no issues there. So I don't know where we're at with WPS. Maybe I'll get a message this week or something for them to come out and hook up. I don't know, you know. So that's got to get done. So that's why the lean-to ain't getting done. I have wood cut for the lean-to. I did not buy panels yet, so we're gonna wait until everything is ready to go. And I don't know if we'll do it this year. Maybe we'll just wait till next year and just finish the landscaping here and get all the landscaping done, and then put that lean-to up next year. You know, that may be what I'll do. Because right at the moment I am very tired. So I think that's about it for the pole barn. I may do a video doing the garage doors. We'll see how it goes. I may do a video for the garage doors and show you that process. But until then, you know, if you like these videos, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me. But let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff.